When life turns up the heat and everything feels like it's burning down around you, that's not the moment to quit, that's the moment to discover who you really are. You see, storms don't destroy strong trees, they reveal their roots. Fire doesn't consume gold, it refines it. And the hell you're walking through right now, it isn't sent to destroy you, it's sent to develop you. Every person who ever rose to greatness walked through their own furnace of pain. They faced betrayal, disappointment, loss, and failure, but they refused to stop walking. Because stopping in the fire means you get consumed by it. But walking through it means you come out purified, stronger, and wiser than before. The fire reveals, not destroys. When life turns into chaos and everything feels like it's falling apart, that's not a signal of defeat, it's a sign that something deeper within you is being uncovered. Fire doesn't destroy gold, it burns away everything that isn't gold. The same principle applies to your life. Every trial, every painful season, every storm that seems unbearable isn't meant to erase your worth, but to expose it. You see, strength that has never been tested cannot be trusted. Faith that has never been challenged cannot be proven. When the fire comes, it strips away pretense, pride, fear, and dependence on what's temporary, leaving behind what's pure and eternal within you. Many people misunderstand the nature of fire. They run from it, they fear it, they question it. But fire has a divine purpose. It is the tool of refinement, not punishment. The moments when you feel like everything is collapsing are often the very moments when you are being reshaped into who you were always meant to be. The fire comes to separate the real from the fake, the strong from the weak, the committed from the comfortable. You don't truly know who you are until you've walked through something that tried to break you. When pressure intensifies and circumstances feel unbearable, remember that diamonds form under heat, not in comfort. Gold shines brightest after being refined. Your destiny is the same way. It cannot be fulfilled without a process of purification. That process often feels painful because it demands the removal of everything that doesn't serve your purpose. People may walk away, doors may close, dreams may seem delayed, but in truth, those are the flames removing what was never meant to stay. The pain you feel is not the end of you, it's the evidence that transformation is taking place. Every great leader, every person who carried power and vision, walked through seasons of fire. They faced betrayal, failure, loneliness, and loss, yet through it all, they discovered something indestructible within. That's what the fire does, it brings forth authenticity. When the heat rises, masks melt, and what's genuine begins to shine. You stop relying on the opinions of others and start relying on the truth that's rooted in your spirit. You stop clinging to what's temporary and start standing on what's eternal. The reason the fire feels so intense is because the treasure inside you is so valuable. The greater your purpose, the hotter your fire. Every test you face is proportionate to the level of destiny that's waiting for you. If the flames are high, it's because you're being prepared for something higher. What you thought was sent to break you is actually refining you into gold. So when life feels unbearable, understand that you are in a season of revelation, not destruction. The fire is not the enemy, it is the process that makes you unbreakable. Pain has purpose. Every ache, every disappointment, every sleepless night carries within it a lesson that cannot be learned through comfort. Life was never designed to be smooth all the time, it was designed to shape you, stretch you, and prepare you for what lies ahead. Pain is not a punishment but a teacher. It speaks in ways that success never can. It reveals your limits, your resilience, and your hidden strength. The problem is that most people only see pain as an obstacle, when in truth it is an instrument of transformation. What you feel is breaking is often the very process of becoming. When pain enters your life, it shakes the foundation of what you believe, forcing you to evaluate what truly matters. It strips away illusions and exposes priorities. You learn that joy is not dependent on circumstances, peace is not the absence of struggle, and faith is not proven by what you say but by what you survive. Pain pushes you to think differently, to grow deeper, and to rely on strength beyond your own. It makes you face the parts of yourself that you would otherwise ignore. Growth is uncomfortable because it demands change, and change rarely happens in times of ease. Every purpose comes with a price, and pain is often the currency. The greater your calling, the greater the challenges that come with it. There are lessons that only hardship can teach, lessons about patience, humility, endurance, and perspective. Sometimes, the delay that frustrates you is actually protecting you from something you're not ready for yet. Sometimes, the heartbreak that crushed you is actually positioning you for a love or opportunity greater than you imagined. Pain refines vision. It redirects focus. It forces you to stop chasing what's meaningless and start valuing what's eternal. When you look at people who have achieved greatness, you will see a pattern. They all went through seasons of deep pain before stepping into their purpose. That's not coincidence, that's design. Pain prepares the heart to handle the weight of destiny. It breaks pride, builds compassion, and strengthens faith. Without it, we would remain shallow, ungrateful, and unprepared. The discomfort you feel today might be the very preparation for tomorrow's blessing. The struggle is not random, it's intentional. The purpose of pain is not to destroy you but to equip you. It teaches endurance when you want to quit. It teaches wisdom when you're tempted to act on emotion. It teaches trust when you can't see the outcome. Each tear, each setback, and each disappointment carries meaning. Pain is the process that matures purpose. It is the fire that molds leaders, the storm that builds faith, the pressure that births destiny. When you begin to see pain not as a barrier but as a bridge, everything about your journey starts to make sense. Don't stop in the fire. When life feels unbearable and the pressure becomes too much to carry, the temptation is to pause, to surrender, to give in to despair. But stopping in the fire only allows the flames to consume you. The only way to overcome what you are facing is to keep moving, even if every step feels heavy. Progress in pain is still progress. The fire was never meant to be your home, it was meant to be your passage. You are not supposed to stay in your suffering, you are supposed to walk through it until you reach what's waiting on the other side. Every person who ever reached greatness had to learn the discipline of perseverance. The path to strength always leads through seasons of heat and pressure. You cannot escape the process, because the process is what gives you power. The fire that feels unbearable right now is molding your character, developing your endurance, and teaching you to depend on something greater than your own strength. Many people give up right before the breakthrough because they mistake the intensity of the fire for the end of their story. But the heat always rises right before transformation takes place. The fire exposes your foundation. It shows whether your belief is built on comfort or conviction. When the pain intensifies and everything seems uncertain, your commitment is tested. That test is necessary because destiny cannot rest on weak faith. The fire separates wishful thinking from real determination. It burns away excuses, distractions, and fears until only your purpose remains. That's why you can't stop. Stopping means the work remains unfinished, the growth incomplete, the victory delayed. Every step you take through the fire builds resilience. Every moment you choose faith over fear strengthens your foundation. When you keep walking, something powerful happens, you begin to change. Your perspective shifts from survival to growth. You stop asking why this is happening to you and start asking what this season is trying to teach you. That's where transformation begins. The fire doesn't just burn what's weak, it awakens what's strong. It calls forth courage, endurance, and faith that you never knew existed inside you. The pain you endure becomes fuel for your purpose. The tears you shed become water for your growth. There will be moments when you feel alone, when the fire feels endless, when the voices of doubt whisper that it's easier to quit. But even when it's dark, even when it's silent, keep walking. Motion itself becomes a declaration of victory. You may not see progress right away, but persistence has power. Every second you refuse to give up, you are defeating the fire. The flames are temporary, but the strength they produce is eternal. Pressure produces power. Every dream, every calling, every vision comes with a weight attached to it, and that weight is what builds the strength required to carry it. Without pressure, there is no growth. Without resistance, there is no endurance. The same way a seed cannot break open without the pressure of the soil, your potential cannot emerge without the pressure of life. What feels like crushing is often creation in disguise. The moments when you feel like life is closing in on you are often the moments when something extraordinary is being born within you. When pressure increases, it reveals what's truly inside you. If you respond with fear, you shrink. If you respond with faith, you rise. Life doesn't test you to destroy you, it tests you to show you what you're capable of. Pressure refines purpose by removing comfort. It teaches you to think beyond limits, to work beyond excuses, and to believe beyond sight. Every challenge that pushes you out of your comfort zone is an opportunity to grow stronger. Every delay, every obstacle, every setback is shaping the resilience you will need for the next level. A muscle only grows when it is stretched and strained. The same principle applies to your spirit. You cannot pray for strength and then reject the situations that require it. You cannot ask for growth and then complain about the pressure that builds it. The greater your destiny, the greater the resistance you will face, because greatness cannot be developed in ease. Power is not handed to you, it is forged in the furnace of struggle. The pressure is not punishment, it's preparation. Many people want the reward but not the refining. They desire the platform but not the process. But power without process is dangerous. If you rise before you're ready, you will collapse under the weight of what you asked for. Pressure ensures that you can handle what's ahead. It disciplines your emotions, strengthens your patience, and matures your character. It forces you to depend less on what's visible and more on what's eternal. The higher the pressure, the greater the potential that's being activated within you. Think about how nature operates. Coal becomes a diamond only under immense heat and weight. Metal becomes sharp only after being hammered and refined. Oil is produced only after the olive is crushed. In every case, pressure precedes power. That's not coincidence, that's design. The process of becoming who you were created to be is never comfortable because comfort doesn't change you. What transforms you is the season that challenges every part of who you are. The pressure teaches you to endure, to trust, and to lead. It takes what was ordinary in you and turns it into something extraordinary. You are not buried, you're being planted. When everything around you seems to fall apart, when life feels like it's pushing you down into darkness, it's easy to believe you've reached the end. But what looks like burial to the world is often the beginning of growth in the unseen. A seed must first be covered in dirt, pressed under pressure, hidden from light, and forgotten for a time before it begins to rise. The soil that surrounds it is not its grave, it's the environment of transformation. What feels like isolation is actually preparation. The darkness that seems to suffocate you is the very place where roots are taking hold. When you feel buried by disappointment, rejection, or delay, understand that you are not finished, you are being developed. Growth takes time, and purpose requires process. The seed doesn't complain about the soil, it trusts it. Likewise, you must learn to trust the seasons of silence and obscurity. It's in those unseen moments that strength is formed, character is built, and endurance is developed. The world may not see your progress, but the roots beneath the surface are getting stronger. You cannot sprout upward until you are grounded downward. What's happening in secret will sustain what's revealed in public. Sometimes life buries your plans, your confidence, and your dreams, not to destroy them, but to reposition them. What you thought was loss may be divine planting. Closed doors and delayed answers don't always mean failure, they often mean foundation. The deeper the seed goes, the higher the plant can grow. The more you are pressed, the greater the potential for fruitfulness. The soil of hardship nurtures resilience, and the pressure of trials pushes you toward purpose. When you're planted, you go through a season where nothing seems to make sense. You pray and hear nothing. You work and see no result. You try and feel unseen. But hidden seasons are holy seasons. They test your faith and purify your motives. They separate those who seek recognition from those who seek growth. It's in that quiet darkness where you learn to depend not on applause, but on purpose. The seed does not bloom overnight, it waits until the right time, And when that time comes, it breaks through the ground stronger, larger, and more fruitful than before. The same process happens in your life. What looked like rejection may have been redirection. What felt like the end may actually be the beginning of something greater. Being buried and being planted feel the same at first, the difference is in the outcome. The buried thing is meant to decay, but the planted thing is destined to grow. The pain you feel right now is proof that new life is forming. The darkness that surrounds you is not your defeat, it's the sign that a season of growth has begun beneath the surface. The test becomes your testimony. Every battle you face, every hardship you endure, carries a message that will one day inspire someone else. The very pain that once broke you will later become the story that heals others. Nothing you've been through is wasted. Every scar, every tear, every moment of struggle has meaning. Life has a way of turning your trials into tools and your wounds into wisdom. The experiences that once made you question your strength are the same ones that will later reveal it. What feels unbearable today will one day be the evidence that you survived, that you overcame, that you endured what was meant to destroy you. The test you are facing is not just about you, it's about the lives connected to yours. Someone, somewhere, will draw strength from your survival. They will see your perseverance and believe that they can overcome too. That's why your struggle matters, it's shaping a message bigger than your pain. Every great story of victory begins with a season of testing. Before you can lead others out of the fire, you must first walk through your own. Before you can speak with authority, you must endure adversity. The power of your testimony is born in the depth of your trial. Tests reveal truth. They expose what you really believe, what you truly value, and how deeply your faith runs. When life presses you, what comes out of you shows what's inside. It's easy to speak of strength when everything is calm, but when storms come and nothing makes sense, that's when faith is proven. Every test is an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. It softens your heart toward others, humbles your spirit, and teaches you empathy that cannot be learned through ease. The test also teaches you trust. When you reach the end of your ability and still have to move forward, you learn to rely on something greater than yourself. You learn to surrender control and find peace even in uncertainty. That kind of faith cannot be taught, it can only be experienced. Once you've walked through your own fire and come out on the other side, your words carry weight. You speak from experience, not theory. People listen differently to those who have lived through what they talk about. Your greatest testimony will come from your greatest test. The lessons you learn in pain become the wisdom you share in purpose. The strength you gain in silence becomes the voice that speaks hope into others. When you overcome what once defeated you, you no longer carry shame, you carry power. The same thing that once hurt you becomes the platform that elevates you. The fire that tried to destroy you becomes the light that guides others out of their darkness. Your story becomes evidence that survival is possible, that healing is real, and that transformation always follows endurance.